Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's Danny Limelight. And I need all of you to subscribe to According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and all other platforms.
What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and I have the honor and privilege of returning to the According to Woods podcast is the one and only Melvin Wells Jr. He is a mixed martial arts connoisseur, practitioner, and member of the CSW Fight Team, aka the Badger Crew.
That's right.
Welcome back, Mel.
Hey man, thank you, man. I appreciate you having me back, man. 2 times. That's real cool, man. Thank you.
We can't contain the greatness of your experience through martial arts in just 1 hour. Oh no, my friend. We got to do the extended cut. This is the director's cut here.
Man, you make a brother feel real special around here, man. What you trying to do?
I mean, did you not get tutelage under Eric Paulson? Are you not under the coaching of Ben Jones? Did you not get training with Benny the Jet or Urquidez? Am I lying?
No, not at all. Not at all.
So I'm just saying, so I am absolutely honored and humbled that you would do this, because again, these, without these things, right? Or at least this is my take on it. These stories of your experience, right? Maybe you'll pass on to your family, your kids, and what have you, some other of your cousins or whatever. But it kind of goes with away with you, right? If those stories don't get let out. So for me, I want to capture as many of these stories of the human condition, and especially over the last year, the human condition got tested in many ways that many weren't prepared for. So it's through these stories that we kind of get our ancient in, right? Our inner strength, and be able to parlay that.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. So again, where we left off was, obviously, training under Benny the Jet, and basically coming under the tutelage of Eric Paulson and CSW, right? So in terms of your journey, my goodness, obviously CSW and Eric Paulson, if they aren't household names and aren't synonymous with, it should be. It should be. So
it's an incredible place, most definitely. Ben Jones, man. That dude is vicious. Ben Jones, actually, he killed a stereotype I had, which I'm not ashamed to say I had a stereotype, but, of a white guy that's in shape, muscle bound, right? So if I would see Ben on the street and we had an altercation or had a problem, right, I would think, dude looks strong. He looked like he hit hard. I'm just gonna move around him and just pick him off, right? That's not gonna happen. Coach Ben is fast as hell. I think he said it comes from his football days, but I don't agree, because there's been many football guys I done got in front of and just dusted, but he on something else. I don't know. I don't know if it was maybe just the combination of Coach Eric Paulson and his wisdom with Coach Ben's athleticism and his grit. I think that's what it is. But all I know is when I got in front of him, it was like, what the hell is this? It's like, this dude is big as all outdoors, but moves fast like a lightweight. Just totally amazing, man. He's a great person to talk to. Very strict, of course. He's a coach. Don't take no shit. And another thing I like about him is we'll do drills and we'll do stuff. He in there right with you. Got the gloves on with you, the shin guards on with you. Ground and pounding right along with you. You know what I'm saying? I always have to be in his group. We sometimes break off into groups. And it's always me and Coach and this other older guy named Mo. He's also a great martial artist. He's a good friend also that I met at CSW. So it's always, because we like the oldest guys, right? It's always us, right? At first, right, when we was doing it, I was like, damn, I got to do it Ben again. damn, I was like, what the hell? But now it's a pleasure. Now it's like, all right, I get to be with coach. I get to, you know what I'm saying? Because I know when he give it to me, he giving me knowledge also. Also, I always tell people that I don't go to the night classes. I haven't even been to the night classes. I don't know like too many lingos of what this is called, that's called, whatever. But hey man, I know I can do it because I'm in there with the pros and I'm doing it. I just have to now get in reverse and start actually being educated on what I'm doing. But in terms of what I'm actually doing, Coach Ben is the man. I mean, they also have Coach Trent. Trent is an excellent martial artist. Me and a buddy of mine, as a matter of fact, was just talking about Coach Trent. 40, what's up, 40? We were saying that when little bit. There we go. All right, because when Coach Trent get in front of you, he move 100 miles an hour, no lie, 100 miles an hour, and he hits you about 5 or 6 times before you turn around to the direction he was at. So he makes you, put the blood flowing. So the next person you get in front of, you got that blood flowing. Coach Trent is a monster like that. And Jacob, I mean, what can I say about Jacob? I mean, he's a champion, future UFC champion. I mean, he got his skills. He got crazy skills. I refer to him like a Jake LaMotta. I'm old school, so he's like a Jake LaMotta.
Reggie Wu.
He ain't gonna move around too much, and he's not looking for the soft, boom boom. Then too much. He's looking for the knockout, the finish. Period. So he buries his head here, and he comes in, boom. And it's amazing, man, because the kid. Excuse me, sorry about that, Jake. The brother hits hard. He's not a kid. The brother hits hard as hell, And then, of course, he's been trained by Coach Ben all his life. So I mean, what else could it be, man? But that, and the rest of the guys, man. The team is incredible, man. I have the pleasure, since they've been able to call it, to feel in different energies, right? Everybody have a different energy. Everybody have a different skill set. Even though we're learning the same stuff, everybody executed different. We might learn the same sidekick, but mine might be way different than yours. But that don't mean it's not effective. I mean yours is not effective. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a crazy, great experience over there, man. And like I say, all the guys is fantastic. You get in front of a guy that oh man, he got good takedown skills, right? So now I gotta worry about this takedown. Get in front of this dude over here. I mean, he finna hit hard. Woo. I gotta worry about this. So any type of martial arts competitor or fighter that you could think you would get in front of is at that school, or I'm gonna say dojo. I'm old school. It's at the dojo, at CSW dojo. That's what it is. Any type of fighter. So you will get every experience. If you got guys that just box, you know what I'm saying? They just box. They take, they got wrestling skills and stuff, but they just gonna stand up and slug. Boom. Now you got to deal with them hands. So I mean, it's incredible. It's like it's like for martial artists. This might sound kind of crazy, but for me, as a martial artist, this is heaven. This is my heaven, because when I go here, all this crap in the outside world, my bills, what I'm saying, this over here, that shit means nothing, And I always say that the cage or the ring, that's the great equalizer. It's it doesn't matter if you racist, it don't matter if you black, white, Asians, it don't matter. None of that shit. It don't matter who your sensei was, who your coach was. When they set that cage, when you get in that ring, it's mano a mano. You know what I'm saying? That's the equalizer. All that other shit means nothing. I love it. I love that. It's like, it's a good metaphor for life, is what I'm saying. That's, basically what I'm trying to say.
No, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, right? Because I mean, every political affiliation, every religious or lack thereof religious affiliation, every sexual orientation, gender identification, all that, they're all here. They're all here, right?
Right.
And they're all getting along because, again, that truth teller. I almost want to say like the tatame, right? And
Right.
this is amazing, right? It doesn't matter if you box, it doesn't matter if you wrestle, if you catch, if you do jujitsu, judo, sambo, whatever, right?
Right.
All of it, karate. Everything is done on the canvas, right?
That's
Everything
right.
is done on the canvas, right? So the tatame, right, or whatever you want to call it, canvas, tatame, what have you, that is the truth serum, right?
Right.
They
That's right.
it's gonna know if you're about that bullshit, about that life or not, right?
That's
It's
right.
going to tell you where you stand in the pecking order, in your skill set, in your walk in life, right? And some days you're the alpha dog, right? And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you're the you're the gutter dog, right? And
That's
it's
right.
just the way that it happens, right? And especially in a year where we had so much tumultuous stuff and people throwing crap at each other and blah da 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 da. I'm all like, you need more martial arts in your life, right? And
Right.
it was really questionable to me when people in our community started fighting amongst each other, and I'm like, do
It's
you not
ridiculous.
remember? Do you not
Yeah.
remember?
Yeah. Exactly. Sister Vinny used to always tell us to follow the code of the Bushido code. So that's what I grew up on. And it's good to see that CSW continue that tradition. And the reason I say that is because Coach Ben would tell us he would say, well, before you come in, or when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, I'm going to have a good day. I'm going to have a great day. I'm going to be this, that, positive affirmations, right? Well, that's the same thing Sensei Benny used to tell us all my life. He's called it the I am concept. I am great. I am this. I am that. You say that to yourself, and it gives you power. Inner power makes you feel good, and it helps you be able to accomplish goals and also be able to tackle anything, any obstacles. When Coach Ben told us to do that, I was like, man, this dude. I mean, I already was sold on him. You know what I'm saying? I already was like, man, this dude right here. Besides Eric, Coach Paulson, of course. Can't never forget Coach Paulson. That's the man, right? So when he did that, I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Not only am I at the right place physically, but spiritually, I'm here. And I don't think I'm like maybe 30 years older than most of the guys there. I'm the oldest dude there. I don't think they really understand too much of certain things he does or whatnot because they're young fighters, they're into that, but they don't understand that mental aspect, man, it's everything. Because you're not gonna be able to kick and punch the way that you are now forever. You're gonna have to change your game. You got to change. The only reason that I'm here is not because I got the baddest sidekick, I got the baddest this, I'm still got the baddest jump kick. Nah, because I adjusted. You got to adjust. You know what I'm saying? You have to. Man, maybe I can't do this like I used to do this no more. But so I'll try it this way. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of guys, at the dojo, I don't think really grasp that aspect yet. But they're young, and go back to what you said about the alpha male thing. My whole dojo is filled with alpha males, man. We ain't got no weaklings. Nah, even the female warriors, we don't have no weaklings.
Right?
You might have I might have a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to sound like an a-hole, sound boastful. My bad day at CSW is somebody's excellent, great, fantastic day at somewhere else.
Right?
That's how intense and that's how great the training is over there. It's just it's fantastic, and I'm just glad that I'm in shape, to be able to do it because when I first got there, they put me through it. They put everybody through it, at first to join the team, So I got young guys, what I'm saying, not beating me down, but they was beating me up. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? But I stayed in there. I'm still there. It's been 4 years. I'm still there now. I'm a staple of the team now, just like everybody else that's been there longer than 2 or 3 years. The staple of the team, and I just really appreciate that they don't take it easy on me. My nickname is old school. Thanks to Coach Dale. Coach Dale is our boxing coach. Very, very, very good boxing coach, man. The dude is dope, right? He called me old school. At first I was like, huh, I'm just, what the fuck? You know, and, oh, what the hell? But now, hey man, that's a badge of honor, man, because that
Yeah.
means it means I'm still here. Not
Yeah.
only that, not only that, I'm doing what you doing. Now,
Hmm.
granted, like the other day we did hill runs. Now, granted, I might be the last one coming down the hill, you know what I'm saying? But I'm coming down the hill, motherfucking hill. You feel me?
Hmm.
And I'm going right back up with you. I might be the last one going back up because
Yeah.
you might be coming down and I'm going up. But what you not gonna see me not going up. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel that I just thank you know the universe. I thank my ancestors for keeping me fit. You know, keep me with a mind state fit. And also I have to, since I'm rambling off, man, I gotta thank my family. You know, a lot of martial artists or a lot of people say, "Oh, I had a hard upbringing. You know, I had this, I had that." Well, I don't have any type of stories. You know what I'm saying? I had a great family, and they kept me training. You know, for some reason, they kept me training. It was just the weirdest thing. My grandmother, bless her heart, uh, she very very religious woman. How religious? When I was in high school, I had to be home by 11 p.m. in high school. I'm in the 12th grade, but that's how religious she was, right? But Tuesday, Thursday, take her car and go to karate. No problem. No problem. I don't care. She could be mad at me. I could have gotten in trouble at school. She called me Peter Wells, because from the Bible, she's very religious, like I said. She said, Peter Wells, get up, it's time to go to karate. You know, I'm like, well, you know what I'm saying? So she kept me going, right? I have an uncle, Bruce Dixon, Bruce James Dixon, who I love very much. He's have a little bit of health issues, but he's doing okay right now. You know what I'm saying? He would pick me up at my grandmother's house and take me like an hour away or a half hour away to another gym. At that time, PKA karate was going on, right? So
Yeah.
I told my uncle, I want to be a pro. I want to do PKA with you. He said, you know what? I know some people. So it happened, the people that he knew was I don't know if you remember Dennis Alexio. Dennis,
Yes.
okay, the people he knew was his people, right? So he would take me up there and I would get training. I mean, you know, at least 3 days a week. He would get off work. He has kids of his own. Get off work, pick me up, take me over, make sure I'm training. So, you know, my journey is filled with people that pushed me along the way, you know, and I really appreciate that, man. You know, and I have to pay homage, you know, to them, man, because I wouldn't be here. I mean, literally wouldn't be here for that push. And it's crazy because everything else that I've tried to venture off in my life, business, school, this, that, there's always been some type of obstacle,
Hmm.
financial, this or that, can't get this. But for martial arts, all my life, I always had a way and also and a guide to like push me toward the next step. You know, it took me a while to even like realize and think about that. You got to get older, like really appreciate stuff. And like, man, they really kept me training, whereas I'm here right now. You know, and CSW, man, they the one.
No, which is, I mean, it's incredible, right? And you know, a good shout out because the Trent that you were referring to is none other than Coach Trent Moe of CSW, the head coach. You know, the co-captain. I mean, not head coach, but you know, the co-captain Trent Moe,
Mm-hmm.
co-captain Little Badger Jacob Rosales. You know, co-captain courteous Curtis Melander, right?
I was just finna mention Curtis, man. I can't forget Curtis, man. Me and Curtis got a good relationship. He like to put it on me, which is cool because it is what it is. But you know, he put it on me, and maybe every once in a while, you know what I'm saying, I can, you know, the dragon come out of me, and I can put one on him. But Curtis is an excellent fighter, and I love being in front of him. You know what I'm saying? At first, no lie, at first I was scared to be in front of him. I was like, oh, that's not that I wouldn't be in, because the warrior not gonna let me back down, but I am human. So I was like, oh shit. Now it's different. It's you know, because he taught me so much. By I don't think him that he knows he wasn't trying to teach me. You know, he taught me a lot. So he taught me so much that I know how to stand in front of him now. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's not that I know I can beat him, I can submit him. I can stand in front of him and we can exchange, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not saying that if he tee off on me, it'll be, I'll be like, oh, I'm not saying that. I'm saying me as my personal skills or whatnot, I can stand up to this young man. He's a young man and he's a young warrior. So it just feels good, man. And like I say, they don't go light on me at all. They never have. We don't go light on any. I can say we don't go light on anybody. First timers come in. I hate to say it, just like my brother El Machete said when you interviewed him. I think it was him or I think it was Slick Nick. He said we give it to him.
Yeah.
I think it was Slick Nick. We give it to him. Yeah, but we give it to each other. Man, if you come in there, you swear to God, you was watching UFC fights, not fighting, fights, because everybody in there squabbling. That's just the way we get down, and I love it because that's the only way I know how to get down. From Sensei Benny. And funny thing, when I was like researching CSW after Guru Osama told me to go up there, I had to say what's going on, research, meaning ask people around, ask other martial arts, hey, you ever been CSW? They always told me the same thing. Oh, you don't want to go up there. I'm thinking, oh man, they gonna charge too much money. They suck. They be banging. I'm like, what you mean? Man, they go hard. You don't want to go up there. Oh man, I'm going up there. That's where I want to be. Yeah, I don't want to be with you. I want to be with you. You ain't banging over here. Y'all ain't doing, you ain't getting it in. I can't learn nothing with you. I'm going up there. So, man, we get it in, man, and it's always open to anybody who wants to try and join the team. Coach Ben always saying, man, he always looking for good talent. Just expect when you come in there, the first week maybe, be in shape. Don't come in there out of shape. Be in shape and be ready to bang. That's all I'm saying. Friendly bang. Ain't nobody gonna kill you, but you're gonna get beat up. You're not gonna get killed. You're gonna get beat up. I'm just letting you understand. And I love it. I love that gym is like that. I might be crazy or whatever, but I love that. You know what I'm saying? It's the blood going. It's the martial artist in me, man. I just love it, man. And I appreciate Coach Tanya. She's just enrolled me in the affiliate associate program over there, so I could become a CSW coach, which I should have done a long time ago because I've been there 5 years now, so I should have been enrolled, But hey, it's never too late. Never too late to do anything in life, man. So basically that my journey hasn't ended. It's still going. Still it's not going to end. My journey's not going to end until my ancestors come and get me. It's never going to end. It's like Guru Inasano. He's still learning. He's still teaching. He's still growing. And the man is over 80 years old. So I want to be like that. Still going. I might not be able to bang with you, but you might catch a foot or something.
No, 1,000%. And again, the lineage and the history, and especially your personal history that your family kept you in, right? I mean, it's funny because one of my family members, my cousin, my big brother, Clarence Joseva Wanganisanini, he says, "What's up, bro?" And I appreciate that because this is it. Our grandfather, Wame Wanganisanini, was the first broadcaster in all of Fiji, right? His dad, Wame Wanganisanini Jr., my mom's brother, actually started the Fiji Post back in 1988, was the first non-governmental newspaper and periodical in Fiji, first independent one. So that's the lineage that I hope to live by. So it's awesome.
It's in your blood. What you doing? It's in your blood. That's the same way I feel. It's just if I'm not doing this, then I'm not living. That's just how I feel. I'm not living.
That's it, and it's literally a new life, right? Because I, much like you, were struggled, all through my 20s. Of course, have a wife, kids, and family, and what have you. But really feeling that, what you can admit to the world, right? It's lacking up until you find your thing, right? And you're lucky enough to find it very early on, right? And mine too. I was always combat sports, anything in a ring, anything in a cage, wrestling, boxing, taekwondo, sumo wrestling. I got kicked. I think I got kicked out of school one time or whatever, or I'd stole something, and my dad and stepmom, along with my mom, was like, "You can't watch wrestling, right? You can't watch wrestling." So you know what I do at 11 o'clock at night? They work at night, right? But they ended up coming home early. Of all of the things, especially a kid in the late '90s, early 2000s could have been watching with
Right.
cable and all that, whatever. They said I couldn't watch wrestling. It was Saturday night, and I was watching Channel 18 here in LA, and it was sumo. My
Oh,
fix was it because
you're right.
I couldn't watch wrestling, right? And they were like, "We told you you couldn't, whatever." And what are you watching? I said, "It's sumo." They were going to say, "Sumo what?" And I wouldn't give him one quarter. I was like, "It's sumo." Sumo what? They wanted me to say wrestling. I wasn't going to let them have it, you know?
Wow, wow, yeah. I mean, you gotta stick with your passion, man. If you don't stick with your passion, you're not living. Um, it's continued to be an amazing journey. I always tell my son, my oldest son, Melvin III, I always tell him, I said, you know what? The energy I have towards martial arts, towards this knowledge, towards this training, right? If I would have had this energy here, would have been transferred into business, would have been transferred into anything to make money, whatever. I'll be a billionaire right now. It's just I chose this path to put my passion in. So I was telling you, have a passion, man. And the monetary money, it really doesn't mean anything. It means nothing, because if you're not happy, who cares if you jump into a Rolls Royce or something? You know what I'm saying? Jump into a
Right.
Rolls Royce, it means nothing. It means nothing. So, this what makes me happy. I purposely got night jobs so I can train during the day. Everything revolved around my training, period. Like I said, I was in Orange County. Cincinnati Benny was in North Hollywood,
Yes.
in that area. So at one time, I even got a job in Santa Monica just so I can be closer. So even my work schedule, it works around my martial arts. It's not the other way around. If my work interferes with my martial arts, I'm not gonna just quit, but I'm finna look for something else that's gonna help me to continue my training. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my mindset. And that's why I try and instill with my kids and stuff, to be passionate and to be strong like that. And it seems like it's working, And people would ask me why you didn't have your son, why didn't your son not training, why this and that. And I would always think, I'm like, damn, why he ain't training? Well, why he just wasn't into it. He's not a fighter. That's not what he does, right? I'm like, what the hell? And then it dawned to me. Both of my kids are martial artists, period. Because the simple fact is, I'm one. I think like one. Everything I do is like one. I raised them like that. So they might physically, but mentally, they martial artists. In other words, they have critical thinking skills. You know what I'm saying? A martial artist, without any of all this other physical stuff, if you don't have critical.
No, critical thinking is absolutely important. We're getting to it.
Crazy activity, maybe, oh man, I'm finna hit the block on this side. I ain't, man, that's critical thinking skills. That's a martial artist, man. You hear footsteps behind you and you're like, wait a minute. I don't want to just turn back and let this person know that I know that I hear him. Let me just move. That's critical thinking skill. That's what I gave my son. So in reality, they are martial artists. They just physically they're not. And we all know martial arts is the physical part is just a part of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm real grateful that they really grasp that, and it just took me a while just to understand that, if I think like that and I put that in them, what are they?
No, 100%. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because I'm kind of similar. Right? I no matter how I sound or how I present myself, like, from the time I was 10 on, up until I met my wife, I was raised in and around Inglewood, right? Anytime I walk into a new spot, I'm locking eyes with everyone. And I know who
Right.
not to lock eyes with. I can kind of sense the energy and what have you. And my wife is
Right.
like, "What are you doing? Like you're almost attracting it." But like again, the brain wire, the like you said, the critical thinking, to know
Right.
you're in danger. Like don't be in a situation just because like everybody's doing it. Because this
Right.
situation might present danger, right? It might
Exactly.
it
Exactly.
might not yield it might not yield the outcome that you want for your life, right? And
Hmm.
this momentary lapse of judgment could have reverberations throughout the rest of your life,
Right.
hanging with the wrong people, messing with the wrong
Exactly.
person, like all of that jazz, right? So it's imperative, it's funny because like I'm rocking a Phil Collins shirt, and you were talking about how your kids don't actively physically participate in martial arts, right? And I kind
Right.
of my dad, he was a musician, right? Like
Hmm.
my grandfather and my uncle, they were the journalists and what have you. But my dad was the musician, and he would try and get me to, learn, and he was from Indiana,
Right.
look at the Jacksons, look what Joe Jackson did with his kids and what have you, right? So he tried to follow that same deal. So like Saturday, like we'd he'd get us our instruments and we'd play for like hours on end. For
Wow.
me, I just could not
Right.
grasp it, right? And look, right? None of my I mean outside of my uncle, right? None of my grandfather's children ended
Hmm.
up doing the media stuff, but it ended up being me, one that grew up in a completely different country, than he to take it,
Right.
right? And brother Melvin, let me tell you, right? None of my kids, right?
Hmm.
Like the combat sports or whatever. And again, that wasn't the prerequisite, right?
Right.
But wouldn't you know who won the pony? All of them, out of four
Huh.
kids, all of them, they are musical and they are
Right.
artistic. So it skipped a generation. So
Yes.
hopefully, with what my grandbaby, and he's the only one. He's the only one that will actually sit and watch like wrestling or fights with me.
Right.
I've done it. So again, sometimes in their own time. And right before pandemic happened, right, went to see Phil Collins at the Forum, right,
Hmm.
and he's in a, like a fragile, physical state. His back is jacked.
Uh-huh.
A couple weeks before the last stop, which was
Oh
the
wow.
Forum, he broke his foot, right. So he's got his son drumming for him, right.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, there was this cool, tender moment, right, where all of the rest of the band, they go and take a seat. They get off stage, and it's just
Mhm.
Phil and his son Nicholas, right? And there's a
Wow.
grand piano there. Nicholas comes from behind the kit and plays and before he starts playing the piano, Phil is like, when I approached my son about doing this and seeing that
Mhm.
he was a drummer, and a couple
Uh-huh.
of my other kids, one of my other sons does music as well. And he's just like, when I approached my, son to do this, of course he was game because for a 16-year-old to travel the world and make the money,
Right.
that's not
Right.
a bad deal, right? It's better than flipping burgers, right?
That's
But
right.
he didn't grasp the material, right? I mean, of course, there were songs that he knew from the radio and whatever and what have you. But do you know how many songs? And this is Phil talking to us, the audience. He said, "Do you know how many songs? All my Genesis catalog, right?
Right.
Uh, all my solo stuff, everything, all my albums. Do you know how many songs my son actually liked? Do you want to know?
Let me guess. Let me guess five.
One, one song. Phil Collins' son that is essentially doing the fills for every Phil Collins, because again, before Phil was the lead singer of Genesis, he was
Right.
backing Peter Gabriel on drums and background vocals. So
Uh-huh.
the entire Genesis catalog, all of Phil's stuff, and the only song that Nick Collins actually liked, that he liked,
One.
was this obscure Genesis track that was a B-side in 78, right?
Wow.
So I sat back and I was like, if Phil Collins, the great Phil Collins, is just dad to his son,
Hmm.
then I'm all right. I'm
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I completely. I completely understand. I have two sons, and my oldest, he liked dancing and stuff like that. So he's like a professional hip hop dancer, which he was sidelined because of this pandemic. But that's what he does. And I also have my youngest son, Marcus, has autism. Autism. He's on the autism spectrum.
Yeah.
So actually, I think he would have been the one to actually get involved in the arts because he's very physical. But of course, with autism, not right now. Think about maybe later on. I'm gonna try and see if he can hit pads and stuff like that. But basically, yeah, man. Both of my sons, man, they think like martial artists, man. And I'm grateful for that, man. They like I say, a lot of kids don't have critical thinking skills, man. They used to offer that in school. They don't offer that no more. So you have to, as a parent, you got to put that in them. But it was easier for me because I was already on that mode, in terms of thinking, man. So I'm just real grateful for everything that's happening and continues to happen. My training is outstanding. My Jeet Kune Do training with Tim Tackett is crazy. He's another legend that I'm training with. Everybody that I've been training with are legends. I haven't trained with too many people that, of course, I respect them. That like quote unquote like just regular martial artists. That's just fine. I respect them, but 99% of my journey has just been with just legends, man, and it just turned out that way. I did seek it, but at the same time, it's like all of the I know this sounds cliche-ish, but all the stars just lined up in a row.
Yeah.
When it comes to martial arts, for me, everything lines up in the row. You know what I'm saying? Everything else just go haywire or do whatever, in terms of whatever else I'm trying to get for some reason. Martial arts, it's my lane. It's my lane that I'm gonna stay in. It's my lane that my family, they kept me in. They continue to keep me in. My girl, she lives in San Francisco. She always texting me and calling. Did you eat? Did you train? Did you do this? Did you do that? She stay on me. Which I love because she know that I love what I'm doing. So she make an effort to involve herself too. And I really appreciate that. And I mean, like I say, it's great. It's a great journey, man. But I live this, man. I mean, the bag in the back is not a prop. So if anybody, he propped the bag. No, it's not a prop. This is how I live. This is the middle. The bag is in the middle of my living room. You know what I'm saying? While I'm watching TV, I get up and kick on her, or punch on her, or whatnot, and I just sit back down and watch TV or something. That's just how I live. And I just love it. I just love it, man. I mean, it's good that I got a woman that can deal with it because, I mean, what woman want to be with somebody that got a bag in the middle of the living room? In the middle of the living room.
Or a podcast studio in the middle of a living room.
Oh, well, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, you got a 100%er just like I got one. You just got lucky, So it's just been great, man. I just want to continue with going to continue with CSW. The plan is for me to become a CSW coach under that banner, along with my JKD credentials. And then, of course, I want to compete, but I'm over the hill, so they say I can't compete like that. So I asked Coach Paulson, Coach Ben, because I'm an old school point karate guy, and that stuff is still going on. So I asked Coach Ben and Coach Paulson, "Is it all right?" Because it's point karate. I thought they was gonna say, "Hell, nah, you can't get it." But they're like, "Man, that's beautiful. Get in there and get it." So I'm like, "Wow, that's great." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So because you can compete in that until you're 60. So and I'm gonna compete with that and also with the jiu-jitsu. So I still have pathways to go. It's not like I'm ready to stop and open a school and train fighters, which I should be, but I'm not there. I tried to train people before, but I end up training with them instead of training them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still in that competition mode. I really don't know how to get out of it. Maybe if I get older or whatnot and can't do it like I want to do it or not. But hey, man, I saw jiu-jitsu players with blind, no legs, one arm. So if they can continue to participate like that, then man, there's no limitations, man. There's no limitations. So when my ancestors tell me to stop, man, I guess that's when I'm gonna stop. Up until then, I'm gonna keep taking the liver shots from the blues, man, at the CSW dojo, man, because hey, look, I get hit hard all the time in the liver. We got this thing called the liver. You get hit hard in the liver, drop your opponent, we all yell out liver, like that. That's a team thing, right? Dude, let me tell you something. I ain't yelled out liver because I think I have a little bit more traditional discipline. I know how to, put it in. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. I want to yell out liver maybe every other day. Every other day, man. I'm getting socked up, but hey, I love it. I love it 100%. But let me say this though. When they in front of me, right? All I know is it's a problem. I'm just gonna say it like that. So you got a problem. I ain't the baddest dude in here. I ain't the fastest dude. I ain't the strongest dude. I ain't this. But guess what? When you're in front of men or old school, you got a problem. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure it out because if not, I'm gonna get you. And they respect me like that. You know what I'm saying? And I love them guys for that, man. It's a family. I wouldn't even call it a team. I would call it a family. We call, check on each other. Take it, man. Well, you ain't been in a while. What the hell you doing? Or somebody got a fight. We really lean on them. You know what I'm saying? And it might seem to be somebody look outside looking in, like, man, why they so mean in there? Nah, man. We, coach got Nick on his back or El Machete on his back or something, pound and ground, whatever, because he loved the shit out of him and he training, and he don't want him to go in that cage and that pro debut and get your ass beat up. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
If he didn't care, and he just was there just for the quote unquote the paycheck or whatever the hell, he wouldn't do none of that shit he was doing. He wouldn't sweat with you. He wouldn't do none of that shit. It's a very, very unique place, on that aspect. And every time you turn around, there's somebody there you can ask. There's Coach Mark. Coach Mark got excellent savate skills along with everything else. Got your kicking guy, you know what I'm saying? If you want to ask him, you got Coach Dell with the hands. You want to ask him. You got a numerous amount of guys that will just destroy you on the ground. So ask whoever to help you on the ground. And then you got the people that got the overall game. You got the Curtises, got coach, both coaches, of course. You got all the captains, overall game, and then that's as a team. That's what we trying to get. We trying to reach that level, that overall game, and what Coach Ben has. Ultimately, we want to be Coach Paulson. Ultimately, that's what we want to be. Everybody in there, females included. So through Coach Paulson comes Coach Ben. Through Coach Ben is everything trickles down, like that. So I'm just be a part of this family tree. Now I'm a part of this family tree. So I always say, people always say, people used to say, oh man, you meet all these martial artists and stuff like that, and they would ask me, do you know such and such, or do you know such and such? I'll say, man, check this out, man. Once you go ask them, do they know me? You see what I'm saying? Not to say that, I'm the man, just to say, man, they know me. You know what I'm saying? I've been around. It's not that, do you know this? Nah, man, ask them. You go to any of the legends. They'll know exactly who I am. They'll know exactly my, how long they train me. It's just a beautiful thing, man. It's just incredible for me just to be a part of this legendary martial artist. Great people in general. Coach Paulson, he's Zen. I call him Zen. He's like this calm, cool. Well, to me, Coach Ben might have a different story because he's been around him all his life. But for me, he's Zen, calm, collected, burn some sage, and be jazz. I mean, that's how it is.
No, 100%. And Mike Bleach says, "Good to see you, Melvin." Shout out to Mike Bleach.
Oh, Mike Bleach, hey, what's up, Mike? Yeah, he's a full-fledged JKD teacher under Tim Tackett, man. He's a great guy, man. He got a great skill set, man. So I appreciate Mike checking it out. Mike is a good dude, man.
Tremendous, Mike. Thank you for joining in. But I want to get into it, right? Because I mean, when you said, obviously, your grandma, how she would, even though she was very religious, she would take you, to martial arts class. She would take you to karate. Obviously called you an apostle from the Bible, right? But there's a lot of there's a lot of cultural things that happen there, right? Like just
Right.
in that one story that I want to touch on, because obviously, first off, to be in traditional, martial arts when you're coming up, right?
Mhm.
You, it wasn't vogue, it wasn't cool to train in other disciplines, or
Not at
even in the
all.
same, right? Even in the same discipline and
Not at
have
all.
different senseis, right? And then your grandmother, right, being religious. We got to remember in this country, especially
Mhm.
as a person of color, right, the religion, anything Eastern was looked at as literally the devil. Like
That's
look at
right.
look at what is it, Bobby Boucher's mama in The
Right.
Waterboy. That's
My,
how it was, right?
my grandma wouldn't even watch TV because she said it was of the world. So
Mhm.
that's how religious she was.
But her love
Very
for you to have you continue even beyond her understanding of the world, again, that is across generational boundaries,
yeah.
that is across society boundaries, like just in that, that she took you to train a Eastern martial
Mhm.
art, right, bringing it
Right.
into the Western world. Like that is incredible looking back on it. And
Yeah.
you were talking about your ancestors saying that, you when they say it's done, then you'll be done.
It was
Well,
done.
I
Right.
think this is the reason why you have been so long in your journey and your
Mhm.
tenure, is because of that, right? These seminal moments that have happened throughout the course of your life to kind of put you in the presence of the people that
Right.
I don't want to say idolize, but definitely were your heroes, right? And then
No, no, idolize is the perfect word. I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed to say it. Of course, yeah, yeah, definitely. Still to
right,
this day.
right,
Still
and
to
you're
this day.
and you're there, and especially again, all of the the lickings that you get, the ass whippings that you get and administer at CSW on a daily basis, right? But there's a lot of contemporaries, right, that,
Hmm.
heck, even guys and gals that are younger than you, right, getting a podcast out of them, an hour podcast out of them, is rough because they're so. You call it CTE, call it traumatic brain injury, call it shell shock, call it what you will, but
I
that
understand.
is right. But the
Yeah.
fact that you've been able to continue at this high level, it's all about your grandparents and the people
Right.
before them, and
Yeah.
your training, and your deep love and your deep affinity to the task at hand, the
Mhm.
lessons that are taught, that I I'm convinced that this is the reason why you're here.
I was convinced of that a long time ago. I already know this is the reason why I'm here. It's just, I mean, hell, it's just my grandmother was a very special woman. I mean, she had literally raised me, and I could never really like realize or figure out. I mean, she want me to go. I said, Grandma, I'm doing that karate. I'm in my mind, I'm thinking I beat up people and hurt people, and she allowed me to go. I couldn't figure that out for a long time. Then I just had to get older and just realize, man, it's just because she loved me, man, and that's what I wanted to do. And she saw that it basically she saw that it made me was going to make me a better man. Basically, she would always say, I just want you to grow up and be a good man, and don't follow people, make your own decisions. You know what I'm saying? Don't be a follower. She always say that to me, do your own decisions. To whereas is when I was got to a point, she used to always make me go to church, right? I always got to a point, she didn't make me go to church no more. And even her kids, that she raised was like, Grandma not making me go to church. I said, no. I said, what? I can't believe, because Grandma made everybody go to church. Twice on Sunday, once during the week. But I got to a certain age, she said, you can make a decision now if you want to go to church now or not. And I was like, wow, this is amazing how she's treating me different than she even treated her own, and it made me even feel I'm not special. I'm nowhere near special to anybody else in my family, but it made me feel like, wow, grounds, I'm special, you know what I'm saying? I got this light around me because of her, so that along, like I say, all my other uncles and stuff, man, it just led me to this point, and you have to acknowledge the people, man. You know what I'm saying. I mean, I never, my life has never been a bed of roses. but it ain't been thorns either. You know what I'm saying? I have family that's been taking care of me along the way, and I really appreciate that. And I was just blessed to have 2 great kids. And I'm blessed to just, man, keep doing it, man. I got a lot more trophies to win, a lot more medals to win. You got a couple belts in the competitions. I'm coming for the belts in whatever if you're 50 and over, I'm coming.
No, I mean, but that's it. That you're coming, and obviously, I. I'm not going to speak at length of it because I don't have the knowledge behind it. But I mean, here we go. Tom Brady is only 7 years younger than you. That is facts, right? Just 7 years younger than you, right? And he's competing at a top level, right? And people could say all to stop and all this, whatever. But if he can still compete, look at Brazil. Yeah, look at Brazil, right? If you don't achieve any level above a black belt before you're 35 in traditional Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you stay a blue belt your entire life, right? Does that mean you stop training?
No.
And when you think about that, right, and adverse to how we do in North America, right, even in the U.S. and Canada, right, in other places not in Brazil, I mean, where do most jiu-jitsu practitioners kind of fall off? Right at the blue belt level. They get their belt, they're working so hard, they're doing competitions and everything like that. They get that blue belt and like, I'm out, I'm out, right? So it's crazy to still compete at a high level.
You know what they say about the belt system? I mean, to cut you off.
No, good.
I wouldn't say that. I don't know about the Brazilian jiu-jitsu sort of say, but the belt system, the old school thing is, it's only 2 belts in martial arts. There's the white belt and there's the black belt, because all the sense of training, your white belt turned black. Everything else in between was actually man-made in terms of to keep you in, and what I'm saying, the keep you paying dues is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that everybody's like that and it's all like that, but traditionally, right? You had a white belt and it ended up black. You didn't what I'm saying, traditionally, so just a little bit of history out there.
No, absolutely. I mean, it almost reminds me of a theory that Coach Rage of Black House says. It's one bell, like opening bell, closing bell. Those are the only ones that matter, right? And the ethos, right, of what's a black belt? A black belt, by definition, is a white belt that never quit, that never gave up.
That's right. Most definitely, man. I mean, you just gotta, like anything in life, man. You just can't quit. I mean, if you quit, it's over with. It'll never happen if you quit. So hey man, I just keep going. I would love to have been able to get into MMA, and my younger time, or if I was younger and do all that old type of stuff, man. I used to regret that when I watch these guys go to fights and watch Curtis on TV. Damn, man, I wish I can. But the reality is, I'm in a UFC fight every day. Every day I go to the dojo, when I step in front of these dudes, in my mind, what I'm saying, I'm UFCing right now. And if this is the best this can get for me, then that's great. This is great. When I get in the cage, with them guys or whatever the hell we doing, man, this is my moment. To them, this might be, I'm just training. They might think, oh, when I get out here, I'm giving you a sandwich. Or whatever the hell, whatever the hell they think. To me, I'm in the moment, because I'm never going to be able to walk down that path and open that cage and being like, it's not going to happen. But it's okay, because it's happening every day. So it's fantastic, man. It's fantastic. It's great, man. It's hard for me to even put it into words sometimes, man. Sometimes I be thinking about, wow, my life is great in terms of what I want to do. Even my son, I mentioned he has the autism syndrome. Even, that happened to him. He's a blessing from the things he does, the things he says, and how he makes me feel. Everything around me, I consider it as a blessing. I really appreciate it, and I will never ever say that CSW is not the greatest place I've ever been to, because I mean, it is, man. It just is. You got you spiritually, mentally, and physically. It's what I want, what I need. I don't know about anybody else, but on my journey, this is in terms of a symbol or a place. Yes, this is the end. This is the end of my journey for me in terms of a place. But in terms of the continuation of learning and growing and sharing ideas with other martial artists and stuff, it's never gonna stop. But this place, CSW, is home. That's basically where it is, man. And I never go anywhere else, man. I really appreciate the program that Coach Paulson put together and that Coach Tanya is running. Really appreciate it, man. And I appreciate how they brought me in, man. I mean, they just welcomed me in with old school mentality. Old school mentality mean, man, come on in and train. New school mentality mean, wait, man, then sign this contract. You know what I'm saying? That's a little bit different. They have old school mentality. Hey, come train, come try it, come check it out. Yeah. I mean, when you go, you're gonna get touched up because that's the way it is. But get that opportunity. I mean, it's fantastic. And I believe maybe a couple years ago he had advanced me to blue belt, which was a surprise to me because I don't go to the night classes, and it's just for him just to recognize I'm putting in this work, it meant a lot to me, you know what I'm saying? Not the belt, just recognizing, hey man, you had me coming to night class, but you putting in work in the day with these other guys, so it gave me a promotion there. But the thing is now though, crazy. Coach Ben say, hey, you want that strike, man, you gotta take me down. So now my mission is to get this strike, I've got to take him down. It's a little playful thing we go through, but I know he's serious. But
Yeah.
he's still playing, but I know he's serious. So I mean, that's my mission. My mission is to go in there, train hard, and take dudes down that I wouldn't normally be able to take down. I wouldn't even think about taking down, and just to keep it moving. And we got killer warriors in there, man. We have two that's finna have their debut. We got Slick Nick, that's my man, and we got El Machete Richie, that's my other man. Both of them dudes they got different styles, different energies, and they both dope. So when I get in front of them dudes, man, it's a pleasure because we touch each other up. Of course, they touch me up, or not touch them up, but that's not the point. You know what I'm saying? Touch each other up, And I like when they say, "Hey, old school, how'd you do that?" Or "Old school, how'd you do that kick?" You're like, "Well, damn, you actually, watching what I'm doing and you appreciating it and you want to learn from it." I mean, I love that shit. And at the same time, hey Nick, how you do that? Or Richie, how'd you do that? Or Richie, show me how you get this lock. You know what I'm saying? Or 40, show me how you do it. They showing me, the young guys are showing me stuff. Putting in my repertoire, and I'm showing them stuff. So it's like a give and take. It's like I say, for me, I'm in heaven. For me, this is besides my kids and my lady, and my family and stuff like that. This right here, this is it, man. And I was surprised when my boy Angel, he's another champion, Angel Valerio Jr. He's from the Benny Quidez family also. He's in Nigeria. He's from Honduras.
Wow.
Yeah, he contacted me about the movie, put me in a movie. So now I even got that on my bucket list. I was even in the martial arts movie. So what I'm saying is everything on my bucket list is happening or already happened. So, I'm fairly happy.
Damn, that is amazing. Literally speaking life into existence. That's, whoo, buddy. That's incredible. Go for it. That's amazing, though.
Yeah. I really appreciate this platform, man, because who the hell else gonna hear these crazy stories besides my kids?
Oh man, we might even have to do a part 3, is what I'm saying. Damn, but this is it, and it's it's this language of martial arts, right? And I never considered myself either as a martial artist or a connoisseur of martial arts or anything like that, right? I was like a professional wrestling fan that got into boxing because it was contested in a ring, and I got into MMA because Dan Severn essentially threw around and ragdolled Owen Hart. And again, you can say all you want about professional wrestling. Look up the Harts. Look at Stu Hart, and he was putting like catch wrestling holds on, like literally everything.
Hey man, them dudes is athletes, man. If you got
Yeah.
somebody 400 pounds finna fall on you and you don't get hurt, that's an athlete. That's an athlete. Period. So real or not, I mean, I wouldn't want to get slammed or get thrown by one of them dudes. Shit.
Yeah. And here's the thing: Stu was an old catch wrestler. He grew up in the prairies of Canada, right? He grew up in the prairies, dirt poor, almost kind of like the Rockstad, right? Like way up in the prairies and whatever. Had like 12 kids. All of the boys were wrestlers. All of the girls married wrestlers, right? And I mean, the way that they would grow up, right? They lived in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And, basically what would happen is one time of the year, they would have the Calgary Stampede. It was like a rodeo kind of deal, right? And Stu Hart would put what they called sugar holds, right? He would put them locks and face hooks and all of that jazz on if you thought you were cool because you're a weightlifter, you thought you were cool because you're a boxer, a football player, soccer player, whatever, come down and Stu would stretch you 9 ways to Sunday, right?
Well, it was wrestling before it became entertainment. It was wrestling. The entertainment came after the fact where we can do this, do that with the win, but it was still wrestling, And to this day, it's, like I say, the dudes coming down on you 400, 500 pounds, 300 pounds, whatever the case may be, any pounds, jumping off the top. Now they do these jump off ladders and stuff. When I was a kid, they jumped off top ropes. Now they jumping off ladders, they jumping off big cages, and they really doing it. It's not like, stunt double. They really doing that crap.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that shit is amazing, man. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy skills.
So my favorite Stu Hart story was when they had and the crazy thing about it, they lived in this old, because 12 kids, right? Where do you raise them? The Hart House was an old, what is it? Salvation Army, like, what is it? Like a hospital, like a,
I see
like an annex. Yeah. Right. Yeah. In the middle of Calgary. Right. And when they would have the Calgary Stampede and the wrestling matches there, one of the attractions, you would have a wrestling card all up and down or whatever, but the main event would be whoever against the wrestling bear, right?
Right.
I heard a couple stories about Stu Hart, right, when the bear got out of line and worked snug and was trying to gnaw, his top baby face, because Stu was also the promoter of Calgary Stampede Wrestling, right? So when the bear got too big for its britches, old Stu would come out the dressing room and put a sugar hold and choke out the bear.
Oh, that's crazy.
Right?
He was the original Khabib, huh?
Yeah, 100%, right? When they were talking about Khabib, I'm like, well, it was done before, and it was done in professional wrestling instances, right? But as a kid, for me, that was it. Like, I watched cartoons. I watched Popeye and Tom and Jerry and whatever. But, like, when I saw wrestling, that was it. And I heard that story because I knew, mom and dad, especially, living in San Francisco where they were like, big Victorian apartments and everything, don't do like Superman and try and jump out the window, right? But and this is kind of it, right? I love every type of artist, people that are theoretically born like me, that can paint, that can sculpt, that can sculpt their bodies, and bodybuilders and strong men and women and all of this stuff, right? But again, a guy that was born just like me, theoretically speaking, right? And that can go and choke out a bear, like for real, I'm done. You can Spider-Man, this and that, whatever. I want to do the stuff and that's kind of the path. It's just like this podcasting and everything is awesome, and I will always do this, but there's going to be a time where I'm going to kind of, leave the microphone down and compete for a NAGA title, the North American Grappling Association title, because why not, right? And it's cool if you want to get a jiu-jitsu medal and everything, and that's all great, stripes on the belt and everything. I want a purple belt. I mean, total disclosure, I want a purple belt for no other reason so I can go compete in Naga, because at a purple belt level and higher, you get a belt. Again, I didn't grow up watching the Olympics and all that, whatever, to get a medal. I grew up professional wrestling, boxing, MMA. You get a belt to say that you're the baddest dude, chick, or whatever on the planet, right? So Naga, at a purple belt level, you get a belt if you win the absolute. So for me, that is my deal, right? And I'll probably even do the podcast with my opponent. But that is
why not? Why not?
Right?
Why not?
But that's the end goal,
Yeah. Well, man, you can do it if you want to do it. If you want to accomplish it, man, it can happen. I mean, you just got, man, like anything else, you got to put in the work. It's rough. Sometimes I'll be in there sweaty, tired. I'll be looking at them dudes. And I'll be like, what the hell am I doing in here? And then I'll be like, oh yeah, I like this shit. And I love being here. But it's many times I'll be like, no, you know what I'm saying? But that's like, man, I love this stuff. What else would I be doing besides this, man? So you gotta do your passions, man.
Exactly. And that's what unites all of us, right? How can all of us, right? And I'm very fortunate that, people such as yourself that have made the walks that you have, people in Alaska, just over like at a time where everything is all crazy, have interviewed people in Taiwan, Alaska, all ages, all races, all sexual orientations, and everything. Wow. And what unites us all is our love for this shit.
This
is it. That's what unites us all. We will be forever young as long as this thing exists, and as long as we can lean on each other, for that pearl of wisdom or that ass kicking that we need. This is what unites us all.
Speaking of that, I want to give you a shout out, because I was talking to my son, and I was like, we still a little bit leery from losing my father last year. So I talked to my son, and I was like, man, Mr. Woods, man, I said, he made me immortal. He said, what you mean? I said, man, don't you know that your kids, their kids can always go back and say, look at my great grandfather, did this interview, this and that, and I'm telling them to share my stories on my martial arts and my life in general. To me, man, I really appreciate this, man, because this is like a time capsule for me and my family. Because life is short, man. Things happen. I wish I could look at my father at a podcast or something up like that. So for you to do this, invite me twice, not once but twice. And I can have my like I say, the next generation, next generation, they can see, oh, my great grandfather. Check him out. Hey, man, thank you, appreciate it.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. And again, this is what unites us, right? Because every interview that I've ever done, every podcast that I've ever done, every bit of digital creation, content creation I've ever done is exactly the words that you said, right? Because I have to dig deep to find stuff on my grandfather. I have to dig deep to find stuff on my uncle, especially the fact that it happened in a completely different country than I grew up in, right? So it's this right here is so my kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids don't have to look too far to see all what Pops was like.
It means everything, man. It means everything, man. Told you, man. I got to put this out there because Sensei Benny he might get mad at me.
Don't go for it.
The last podcast, I said I won the four international karate championship tournaments, right? I mean, four trophies at international karate championship, right, under Steve Fry, which was true. When I went to Sensei Benny, I also won underneath him grand championship at the same tournament, and it was special. But the simple fact is, Sensei Benny hasn't. At that time, he wasn't going to tournaments too much. He wasn't doing too much, right? And the internationals was really big. That's where Bruce Lee was discovered at that time.
Yes.
So it still was big, even when Sensei Benny was taking it, or when he took me. So, but he hasn't been going. So when he came with me, it was like a red walking the red carpet everywhere I went. No lie, every pictures, martial artists everywhere. I mean, just so that shit put a lot of pressure on me. You know,
Yeah.
since it was only me and my other martial arts brother's name is Majid. It was only us two at this tournament, and this is the first time since they've been at anything like this in years, right? So a lot of pressure on me, a lot of pressure on my homie Majid, right? And I had just got my black belt, so now I'm in the black belt men's division, heavyweight, heavyweight division, sparring division, right? When I was with Steve Spry, it wasn't black belt, it was like blue belt, green belt, them lower belt, but it was championship is a championship, so I still won it at those belts, right? But this here was like creme de la creme, and I had Sensei Benny with me, right? So my other homie, like I say, Majid, he fresh from Pakistan, he not really used to control. He used to bang him. So he immediately knocked his opponent out. We oh shit. So he knocked his opponent out. That means he disqualified. So now everybody looking at me. All people, since they've been people that gave autographs to and whatnot, since they were like, oh, this is my student. No, he's competing. So now I got this big I got the spotlight on me. Let me tell you, that pressure was more pressure than my opponent. I wasn't even worried about them. I worried about, oh man, I gotta perform. So make a long story short, I end up dusting everybody. I end up taking first place, right? First place in heavyweight men's, right? Black belt. So that means that the first place in the light division, first place in the middleweight division and whatnot, you all meet to be grand champion, right? So grand champion, right, didn't start till 9 o'clock at night, right? I'm like, fuck, I gotta go to work. 9 o'clock, we ain't getting paid for nothing. We just competing. So it ain't like I'm, if it make money and nothing, what the hell? Never forget, Sensei Benny said, he sat down and said, well, it's more important. Looked at me straight in the eye. I said, all right, Sensei, let's go. We got out of there. Everybody said, would you forfeit? I said, yeah, we forfeit. I gotta go to work. You gotta go to work? So yeah, I got a newborn kid at the house. I gotta go, I got a kid at the house. I gotta go to work. I know, as a matter of fact, my kid was with me. As a matter of fact, I said, he was still little though in my arms. I gotta go to work. So what I'm saying is that was an amazing moment because man, two men talking, what's more important? Basically this tournament, which is whatever, or your family, So right then and there, I mean, I was like, man, this is a hell of a man right here. Because he could have, for face purposes, oh, get in there and just, and I would have did it, because I'm in front of everybody, looking at Sensei Benny student, take grand champion, but no. I said, I got to go to work. He said, let's go. Got up, got our stuff, man. It was incredible. I was like, wow. The grand champion would have been nice or whatever, but I got a first place heavyweight men's division trophy right here, and Sensei Benny was right here with me. So that's a priceless memory, it's priceless, So I mentioned Steve Spry, who's great also. I have to say that, but Sensei Benny, he took me to that other level. He took me to that, because I'm telling you, when I was in competition, man, them dudes, it was, I don't like to say this, but it has been a long time ago. This dude was easy, man. It was easy. It was nothing. I was like, what the heck? It was so easy. It was frightening. You know what I'm saying? But I'll have to put the icing on the cake. Is Steve Spry showed me how to win. He showed me how to control myself and how to not be able to knock a person out. It takes a lot, especially younger martial artists. It takes a lot to pull your punches. To pull it. It don't mean you macho because you can knock a fool out, this and that. If you have the intensity to make that strike, but then stop it to where it's not you can still contact, but it's not a full boom. It's just a pop. It's just quick, man. That's skill. That's skill, man. And then once you turn that skill into the full contact realm. That's why you have a lot of point fighters now going into full contact, going into the kickboxing, going into MMA, because they're starting to figure it out. The thing about point karate that's great is it teaches you how to get in and get out, right? Everybody say, well, man, you can't punch you can't fool this. That's not the case. Really look at it. It teaches you how to get in, get out, You know, you might get the point or whatever, but it teaches you the mobility is what I'm saying. So if you put the mobility with the intent to do damage, and you actually train on the specific things you need to train on that, of course, point karate don't train you on, but have that mindset and the agility, you will be a different type of fighter. Hence Raymond Daniels, a different type of fighter. Hence the other brother that's in Bellator. I forgot his name. I forgot the little brother name, but he likes to show off a little bit like this.
Oh, MVP, Michael Venom Page.
MVP, right? Those are point martial artists that figured it out. Now, mark my words. Wonder Boy also, he was also one. Mark my words, you're gonna see a whole bunch of these guys starting to come out and tear up shit because the mobility, because the way they move, and you got to be in shape to do that. That's like point karate is a non-stop sprint. It might look like, oh, they look like shit, or they don't look like they're doing nothing. That shit is a non-stop sprint, non-stop. So if you used to non-stop sprinting and you put that, it put your other, your ground, your boxing, this and that. Yeah. Understand how the aspect is when I go in, I'm not going in for a point. I'm going in to do damage, right? Understand that? Hey man, them dudes, they gonna come out, believe me, they gonna come out, the wood start coming out. It's gonna be like, damn, what the hell? Because I'm telling you, it's incredible. Then as I'm talking, I also want to discuss, since I am a JKD man, I can hear the dudes right now saying, hey man, Bruce Lee was against karate tournaments. Why you in karate tournaments? Which is bullshit, because the Joe Louis, Mike Stone were point karate champions, and they was trained by Bruce Lee. He had no problem with the point karate competition. His thing was he was into realism. He said, that's not real. Well, we know it's not real. It's a competition. But of course, he didn't have a problem with it. If he had a problem with it, he wouldn't have trained those fighters.
Right.
Period. And they wouldn't have been saying, oh, I'm being trained by Bruce Lee or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? He trained a lot. There's a lot of unknown point fighters in that era. You'll see trickles of different pictures of people here and there that he trained. You see what I'm saying? So to the JKD brothers and sisters out there, man, get off my back. I'm doing point karate, and I'm a flag the JKD symbol, all that, along with my CSW, Eric Paulson, along with that. I'm just letting you guys know, whatever. So I'm just, because they get to man, look, I'm doing it, and you got a problem with it. I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? It's just the way it is, So, but yeah, man, them point fighters, man, if they can get it together, like they're starting to, man. They're gonna be problems, man, because Raymond Daniels is a problem, MVP is a problem, and now it's getting different now, So that's what I love about MMA martial arts is everything changes. Everything changes, but it still expands. First nobody was going to the ground. Oh man, I can't go.
Right.
Now everybody going to the ground. But then people start saying, oh man, we going to the ground too much. Now everybody's standing up. Actually, it's more kickboxing in the MMA now. You know what I'm saying? They're going to the ground. It's just a what you call it, evolution.
Evolution, yeah.
It's just the evolution. So I'm telling you, MMA guys out there, the young MMA guys out there, man, do not count these so-called soft karate point fighters out. Do not count them out, because if them fools, not fools, but if them brothers or sisters learn how to actually execute what they're doing, you in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because most MMA guys don't have that in and out move. They don't have it. They got go in, go forward, hit the ground, maybe circle. They don't have in and out, ducking and dodging, but still be in shape to execute, what you need to execute. You know what I'm saying? So, hey man, I had to put my 2 cents out there about that.
No, absolutely. Break them off of a piece of that knowledge, right? Show the kids what's up. I'm just saying. No, and again, without these stories, right? These names kind of go off into the ether, and much like you, and my condolences of you losing your father last year. But absolutely. But this is same here. I didn't even get to 30, with any of my parents. My parents both passed away before I was 30, right? And you know,
Sorry to hear that, brother.
no, I appreciate it, but it's kind of crazy because especially as I start to do things in my life, right? My circle gets bigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, and the outreach and people who know who I am, and it's not even like pretentious know who I am, but just they know of me and what have you. But
Right.
the people that actually knew me as the son of my parents, well, that circle, as the other circle gets bigger and bigger,
Mm-hmm.
the ones that
It's
knew my
small.
parents get smaller, right? And
Yeah.
again, like you said, it's an evolution of time and
Yeah.
our response to such things, but again, a lot of the stories of my parents and everything kind of go off into the ether, right? And I kind
Mm-hmm.
of, in my own mind, I'm like, did I just dream that I had parents? Because it's been so long
Yeah.
kind of without them, right? It's there. But that's for me as a storyteller, as an audio and visual storyteller, right? In this kind of podcasting, content creating sphere, to me, it's absolutely imperative that we get these stories on audio, on visual,
Right.
from the people who have lived it. Because again, what you're doing is you're writing a masterclass thesis for the
Mm.
next generation after you,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah, I understand.
But
Yeah, I agree.
right, and if we don't have the stories from the people that have lived them, then what is the experience? I mean, my kid, I shit you not, my kid, right, was learning
Mm-hmm.
about the Boston Massacre. Do you know when that happened? When he was learning, he opened up his book and his online teacher said, to learn about the Boston Massacre. Do you know what day that was?
What was that? Oh, that was that on that
January 6th.
I was just gonna say that the insurrection, whatever they call it day.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So
That's
I just flicked
ironic.
on the TV and I said,
That's ironic.
kind of like that.
And isn't
That
it crazy how history repeats itself?
Exactly, but it's doomed to repeat itself if we don't learn from the lessons of the past. My dad would
Correct.
often say, "You don't know where you're going unless you know where you came from."
That's
This,
correct.
according to Woods podcast, is exactly that. It's according to Woods, my family name, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
borrowing from the experiences of my ancestors and
Right.
bringing it to the forefront to a new generation that may or may not listen, watch, whatever. Hopefully, it inspires a lot of people, whether they're in fights or not, right?
Right.
We talked a lot about fights, but we talked a lot about life, right?
Right.
The
That's
life
right.
in fights, right? Because
Right.
this podcast is for everybody. You don't have to be a fight fan to come on in here. No,
Right.
we answer comments and shout out to Mike Bleach. He says, "Hell yeah, making dreams come true, 100%."
Yeah.
And
Yeah, Mike.
that's such an important
Good
point.
dude.
Knowing how to enter is huge. In your point about the point karate folks, no,
Oh
hundred
man,
percent.
that's just what I see on the horizons. That's just what I see because I can tell. I mean, I would actually go as far as to tell even an MMA guy to do a little bit of point sparring, maybe every once in a while, so you can get that feeling of in and out, and you get that feeling of the dude hitting you, and he's already gone. You know what I'm saying? It's what you call that
The
fast twitch.
elusiveness. Oh, fast
Fast
twitch
twitch.
muscle. Yeah,
That's what it is. It creates. That's the word I was looking for. The point karate creates fast twitches, and that's what you need to execute. But if you have a fast twitch and you don't know how to finish, that's what Coach Ben would always say: finish. You don't know how to finish, then it's useless. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing at CSW. We don't train to win; we train to finish. And I know that sounds barbaric and it sounds whatever, but that's just our mindset. When we go in there, we go in there to finish it, whether be it by submission or knockout. You know what I'm saying? We trying to finish. So that's our mindset. And
right. And
most
that's what it
definitely,
should be because this
yeah.
is this is again, you know, whether you choose to or or you're kind of like put into this life, you are essentially fighting for your life. Especially with like the UFC and all of these glitzy organizations around the world, One FC, like Pride back in the day, right? All the glitz and glamour,
Mm-hmm.
but we've we forget the people who compete in this sport, right? At any point, they could lose their lives. Like, it's actually nothing short of a miracle with the amount of force, the amount of skill, the amount of everything that is created on an amateur level to pro in every organization this side of Uranus, that we haven't seen more deaths, because that's essentially what you're doing, right? This is the way of the samurai, whether you're about that life or not. And again, you get found out pretty like inclusively, whether you're about that life or not, so that's why I do it. Part of doing this, my why, right? Of all of the times that I've asked a person why they got into it or how they got into it, I don't think I've ever gotten the same response twice. Literally hundreds of people haven't got the same response twice, because again, it's so next level. It's always evolving, and I think for us as people, right? To not learn from the past mistakes of our ancestors, the past mistakes of our elder statesmen, and what have you, and that still continue to do.
Or the mistakes we made last week.
Hell yeah! I mean, I know pretty well, right? There was one time that I was heading from work to jiu-jitsu class at Fight Academy in Pasadena, right? And I was like, but I'm hungry. So I'm going to grab a burrito on the way, right? Grab a burrito. I little wolf that thing down, just inhale it, right? Well, Brother Melvin, do you know what move that we drilled ad nauseum, and especially not just drilled, but this is Fight Academy under Savant Young, the Black Superman, and the no-gi afternoon coach, the class that I was going to get into, is none other than Thug Jitsu, Use Edwards, right?
Okay, yeah.
And again, I had a burrito going into class, right? Do you know what we trained that day ad nauseum for an hour straight?
What's that?
Neon bellies.
Neon belly.
So those are lessons from last week.
You know you ain't supposed to eat before you train anyway, man. You're going to get your stomach cramps and everything.
I fucked up. That's what I'm saying. But again, it's those learning lessons. Hashtag never forget. Hell yeah. Oh, so did the people watching on the bench.
I thought you was going to say you was practicing the darts, because in the darts you gotta you crunch up your body, and your opponent crunches up too. I thought because when I get darts, I say that because when I get darts, I feel my stomach knot up.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, a knot of a different kind is a neon belly, especially if you're training with a brown belt who might outweigh you by 150 pounds.
That's a Curtis Millender special, neon belly. Well, neon belly. I wouldn't say that. I would say that's what he do to me all the time. I don't know what he do to anybody else, but I know he put them bony, long legs on my belly. It's like it feel like a difference. It feel like a mix between a knife and a sledgehammer. That's what it feel like as you're getting ground and pounded.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, so many sensations. Oh, fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the craziest part about it is I love all that shit.
But that's, I mean, and that's why we're here. Our love for all of this, man. And again, I appreciate you for sharing these stories, because these are stories that are a masterclass of what to do, what not to do, and the stories of legends that have gone by the wayside, whether that be history or history relevancy or whatever. Well, here's somebody that trained under the tree of wisdom of all of these great senseis and masters, and right now, in visual, in audio form, is telling you those stories and his own personal stories through those journeys. So, Brother Melvin, I can't thank you enough. But before we go, there have been a litany of people that have helped you along the way in your journey, not just in martial arts, but also in life, right? So let's get some shout outs out of the way.
Of course, I have to shout out. My son, Marcus Wells, I'll pick you up on Friday, man. I love you, man. And I'm still looking for that damn PlayStation 5. I can't find it. So My oldest son, who actually will be 25 next month. Of course, I love him also. Melvin Wells the third. He's the third. My father is, of course, the senior. My daughter, Regine, I love her to death. Of course, my fiance in Vallejo, California. She keep me on my toes, man. She makes sure, even though she's not living with me, and she's up there taking care of her mother. So she keeps me on my toes, making sure I'm eating or not eating. She makes sure my weight is, cool and whatnot. It's more of a concern because of my age than, me
Right.
getting up in there, getting tossed up and whatnot, and of course, last but not least, my whole CSW family, man. Of course, Coach Paulson, he's the head figure of it all. Other than that, Ben, Jacob, Curtis, Mo, I mean, and everybody else on the team, man. I mean, them guys is and women, because we do have women warriors that get with you. Don't get it twisted. We got some.
Yeah.
You just interviewed Alondra, I think maybe last
Alondra
week.
Brown, yeah.
Hey, let me tell you something. I figured out that. Well, not figured out. I found out sparring her that she really getting some real good tutelage, from Coach Ben and that was Coach Ben. See what I'm saying? And then when I had her in the clinch, she was able to maneuver me and was able to take me down in the clinch. And I know that's a coach, and she's very small. She only come up there to the end of my sternum. So what I'm saying is, we got the women there too. And we also have another young lady. I forget her name. I'm sorry, but she just got with us, and she's still there. So evidently she's passing the initiation test. You know what I'm saying? And she, I believe she's with Danny Lockhart. She with from his camp, so now she's training with us, and she's a heavy hitter. Like I say, everybody, all my brothers, man. Of course, my sister, CSW, man. I mean, they mean everything. They're my family, I mean, my brother, he's in Northern California, so I'm to him. My girl, she's in Northern California, right? My son is in Riverside, and I got one torn. So everybody all spread out, right? But CSW, you know what I'm saying? That's who I see every day. That's who I deal with every day. You know what I'm saying? So I got much love for the guy. Slick Nate, he got a fight coming up, and he's going to execute. That's what he do. El Machete, I love that name. El Machete, you know what I'm saying? He gonna in his fight, Richie, he gonna execute. And then all other guys should start having fights because everything starting to open up a little bit. So we all gonna be active. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm gonna hit the tournament circuit, and have a good time. And I appreciate you, was, man. It's a great opportunity for me and for me to, for people to know about me, like about me. That's something to help. But I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Oh, the pleasure was all mine. Again, much like you do at CSW, every day that you step on the mats, every day that you walk through the doors, that you learn, you get a sponge of knowledge from the learning trees that are, and that's what I did. This is absolutely amazing, and I can't thank you enough for obliging, not once but twice. So I can't thank you enough, my brother. This is amazing.
I saw you was going to talk to Sensei Thunderwolf, huh?
I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, you think I have whatever? I'm a student from Sensei Thunderwolf. Thunderwolf is the man. I'm gonna tell you real quick. Thunderwolf and Stan the Man from Australia, right? Got the hardest shins I have ever felt in my life. In my 40 years of doing this, man, let me tell you, the hardest shin. Nobody has shins harder than those two, and it's a different type of hard. Since Thunderwolf, his kicks, like just when he kick in the leg, your whole body just vibrates. Literally, it's the craziest shit. Your whole body, and it hurt. The other gentleman I was talking about, Stan the Man, when he kicks you, whatever he hits, that's what hurts. So if he kicking your leg, your whole leg just goes dead. And it's different feelings, and it's weird because you would think it'd be the same feeling because it's the same leg kick, but they execute it different, and it's in a different spot. So I'm glad you're gonna have Sensei Thunderwolf, man. Thunderwolf, man, he good people, man. Thunderwolf, and Sensei Patrick, man. I mean, hey, man. I mean, they really helped me a lot when I was training with Sensei Benny, man. So I'm glad you're gonna have
No, absolutely. I'm trying to work on it. And the funny thing about it is like, and this just kind of shows like I guess not that I was meant to be like in this kind of realm, but I mean it kind of it lends you to believe that, right? Because like the universe and
you gotta stop saying yourself, telling yourself that you are meant to be in this world. I would tell myself that all the time about the martial arts thing, right? But this is my world. I'm meant to be in it,
yeah,
You know when you're
absolutely.
meant to be in something because you stop at nothing to do it, regardless.
Well,
No obstacle, no nothing. You're gonna just do it regardless. So, hey man, this is what you meant to do, man. And I'm glad it was meant for you to do it because without you, I wouldn't be here for me. So thank you very much, man.
far too kind. I appreciate it, but it's funny. So I mean, Thunderwolf and his wife, Master Thunderwolf and his wife Yoli are actually friends that came. They came with the package that were, they were my
Great.
wife's. Yeah,
They're
my
great.
wife's friends first, right? And then I
Wow.
came in, so I'm super fortunate, And then there's even like, there's a one of my wife's family members is married to a guy and has been married to a guy forever, and that guy just happens to be one of the bodyguards to this guy Conor McGregor. I don't know if you know him, but yeah, right? Yeah,
I
that
think I
guy.
heard of it a bit.
Right. But it's funny because like all of these things that kind of come from those are like how I know Master Thunderwolf. I've never trained at a gym or whatever. He's a friend. Like,
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah, so that's
wow,
that's a
man.
crazy
Yo,
that's a
that's
crazy
crazy
thing.
because
Like,
you're gonna talk to the right Thunderbolt. He's also an actor too, so he has those stories also. He's an incredible individual, man. I mean, he's a great guy. He's down to earth. He's a salt of the earth. You won't meet too many people like that. And I've just been
yeah.
fortunate to run into people like that. From Sensei Benny to Google and the Sound, to Coach Eric Paulson, to Tanya Paulson, to Coach Ben. I've been very fortunate to run into kind, good spirited people, and it's all because of martial arts. Period. No other way. So, I bow down to the martial arts God.
Oh, appreciate it, brother. Now, obviously, as you walk through your journey in martial arts, right, and you approach your next competition and your affiliate training, right, there's a lot of steps that are moving with one Melvin Wells Jr., right? So for those who want to watch you in your walk, where can they find you on social media?
Well, I'm not a social media type of cat, so I mean, you just at Melvin Wells is the Instagram, and that's it, man. I'm not like I say, I'm not a social media cat. I ain't got nothing to sell. I don't have no fights coming. That's why I'm surprised you talking to me. I ain't got no fights coming up. I'm just a hardcore, very hardcore martial artist, and I will keep training to the day that I expire. And if I have anything coming up, it's just going to be this initial tournament. Other than that, yeah, I got something coming up. Teammates fight. Of course, I got something. Of course, I always got something coming up. CSW, the Badger Group, we always got something coming up. Up the bat, of course, I said Slick Nick and Rich Broad, man. The Secretary, man. So after that, who knows? But yeah, I always got something coming up. Yeah, I will be on social media, promote family. So of course, man, of course, I have to repeat that. So they all it's about me. Feel me? Spot the family. Family, yeah. When they come up, I come up. So yeah, that's what we got coming up. Most definitely.
Hell yeah. Hashtag Badger Crew, which,
Most
I mean,
definitely.
this is where I'm going to correct you, good sir, right? Because you are in a fight. You're in a perpetual fight with Father Time, and you're kicking that motherfucker's ass. So,
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
I don't know if I'm taking Father Time's ass. I think I'm just delaying it a little bit, you know, but because eventually he's gonna catch up to me. But right now, I think I got him behind me. I'm running a little bit, trying to get
yeah.
but with the help of Coach Paulson, CSW, of course Tim Tackett, Jeremy Lynch, man, I think I can go just a little bit longer. Coach Dale, go a little bit longer in my journey. Keep it going, man. I'm just going until I can't do it. I don't know what that's going to be, but when I can't do it no more, I think that's it. But until then, man, I'm a die hard, man. This is just the way it is, man. And I love it. It's my life, along with my kids and my woman. That's just the way it is, man.
I fucking love it. I love it, brother. Well, again, I appreciate you for being able to share some of your stories and your experiences in all forms of martial arts. And we like to thank you guys out there for joining us here at According to Woods. And if you haven't already done so, I warmly encourage you to like, share, and subscribe to the According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And Melvin, you're subscribed, right?
Most definitely. That's
yeah,
CSW, baby.
Damn right. So be like Melvin, be like me. Go ahead and subscribe to the According to Woods podcast. And hey, don't take our word for it. Here's Professor Zeta Zhang.
Hey, this is Zeta Zhang. Make sure you subscribe to According to Woods.